Okay. Okay, so I'm going to finish the back of the pink paper. So I have 2 logs and then a brand new function. It's called the signum function. So the first one on the log function, so this is a b, not a 6, and because it's the base. And normally when we were graphing these, we graphed log base what? 10, right? So we didn't have to put a base, but if there is a base, this is where the number goes. So there's an asymptote here because you cannot take the log of a negative number. So we have positive x's because you can't take the base of a negative number. So the domain is going to go from 0 to infinity. The range is going to go negative infinity to infinity. What's the x-intercept? 1 and 0, and that'll be the point when we transform that you're going to want to transform. Is there a y-intercept? No, because of the asymptote. Are there any critical points? Nope. So if you put your finger on this, is this increasing or decreasing? This is increasing. So it's increasing from 0 to infinity. Does it decrease at all? No. So as x approaches infinity, what happens to my y's? They approach what? Infinity. Can I do as x approaches negative infinity? No, because we can't have negative. So are there any discontinuities here? We do. We have an x equals 0, so that's infinite at x equals 0. We don't list the y equals, right? Only the x. Is this even or odd? Neither. So when we talked about the exponential yesterday, when it was exponential growth, it went up this way, and the base was 2 to the x. What did I do to show that it was decreasing? What did I do to the 2? I made it a fraction, right? So if you look at the logarithm, what did I do to this logarithm? It's not increasing, now it's decreasing, so how do you think I'm going to change that? Close. I'm going to put the 1 over the b, okay? So it would be f of x equals log of 1 over b to the x. This still has an asymptote because you still can't take the log of a negative number. What's the x-intercept still? It's still 1, 0. That did not change. Is there a y-intercept? There is none. Critical points? So is it increasing or decreasing this time? It's decreasing, so this would be 0 to infinity. As x approaches infinity, f of x approaches, what does it approach this time? Negative infinity. So the discontinuity is infinite, and that's at x equals 0. This is neither. And my transform point is going to be 1, 0. Okay, so we've never seen this function before. You haven't seen it. So on all of the functions, I always wrote f of x. But this function, instead of f of x, we're going to write signum of x. And the parent function of sigma of x is the absolute value of x over x. This is a line here. So it's the absolute value of x over x. So if you just look at this function, first of all, if I start at negative infinity, it goes to 0. Then it jumps, and then it jumps again, and it goes back to infinity. Okay, this is a piecewise function because it's like a puzzle. You put it together. And so this is how we write this. So these are the three pieces all put together that make the whole graph. So it says if x is greater than 1, I think this is greater than 0, actually. There's 0. Sorry. So if x is greater than 0, what does y equal? If x equals 0, what is y? And if x is less than 0, negative 1. All right? So if I'm going to say the domain, what is the domain? Left to right. Right, because we use all of the numbers, correct? So I'm going to have negative infinity to infinity. But what about the range? So can I have a 0.5? Where? Here's 0.5. Is it there? Can I have negative 0.5? So what are the only three y values I want? So the range is actually discrete. Do I have an x-intercept? 0, 0, and that makes your y-intercept. Do I have any critical points? No. Do I have an increasing interval? Do I have a decreasing interval? What do we call these intervals? Does anybody remember? We haven't talked about it since I defined it. But they're constant, right? Because it's only one value, so it's constant. So these are none. So as x approaches infinity, what does y approach? It doesn't. What's the only value it goes to? The y value has to be 1. As x approaches negative infinity, what does the y value go to? Negative 1. Are there any discontinuities? There's a jump, and we say that it's at x equals 0. Good. Is it even or odd? Even says you can fold it in half. Can I do that? Can I rotate it? Yes, so it's odd.